True meditation involves prayerfully, peacefully observing, understanding, experiencing what we know was before the world existed, a spiritual eternity and universe. On the one side of it, and then the other side is experiencing what is after the world exists, or after it, when it ceases to exist. This is the beginning of true meditation, mysticism, and the end of all pain and suffering forever. The words are very hard to achieve because our concepts are solidified by living here, by our conditioning. But if we study the writings of the mystics, the oracles, the truth-sayers, are enraptured by the heroic deeds of the great saints and saviors, and realize there is a place of heroism beyond this world that's in the heart and soul. It's a mother's strength, a father's fortitude, a child's gratitude and wonder. That's the beginning consciousness of what we were before we took this thing on. We're not this, we're not that. We're transcendent of every thought, every experience, every revelation. And then we're infinitely transcendent of whatever that is. That's spiritual consciousness. That's the place we're brought to. And we understand a God could not have created the absurdity, the obscenity, the evil, the vileness of the present world conditions that we experience. A mystical, spiritual person grasps this because we feel an unending purity, a kindness, a truth, a wonder. It's a presence that's so remarkable. And every human thought, it's like hitting it with a baseball bat. This place is thoughtless, timeless, pure, decent. Being a mystic myself among the many, many millions of us in the world, it's time that we gather ourselves up and look squarely at the center of this world, which is an infinitesimal being called Satan. Gets very biblical here. And yet that's the truth of it. There's dark force. And it just occurred somewhere in eternity, in the infinity of heaven. It just happened. So we just happen to be here now, purposely, to end it, to enclose it. So we look at what was before, what will be after, and right now in the middle we look at Satan, right in the eyeball. This little thing, and you'll see it. We've all seen it for moments here and there in our life, but it's too horrible to imagine. How could that be? Well, that's the force behind everything that seems to be. And once we confront that, we can fold the whole thing up. You do it by not thinking or even feeling, by just persisting in this delicately lit, at times well lit place called the soul. It's the real of you, and you gave that up to be here, to find out what happened, what went wrong, and then you'll look at it clearly without giving anything to it. It takes a brave soul, a big heart, a kind intention. It takes you. Isn't it you? Do you really believe that a God would have intended any of this immorality, this indecency, this madness, this cruelty, this violence, this viciousness. And though every great artist and poet and seer tried to bring a message of something of the beyond, it's time now to end time, the sense of time. I know when I go walking down the ocean down here, and there are cliffs, and I'll try to walk where no one's there, along the ocean, and all of a sudden I'll feel it all looks real, because I just drift in it, because like you, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm floating all the time. And if one person is up there 1,000 feet away, and they're looking over, and you feel their thoughts, and it's like they're getting pounded on the head. So we give up thought. We don't react to other thoughts. And then in that thoughtless, exquisite emotion of divine wonder, we see that what was just stated can be, will be, and it's up to us. It's not such a hard bargain. We're given eternity, infinity, godness. We're given it back. We yielded it to be through this aperture called birth, to find out what that mess was all about. Now through 10, 20, 50, 80 years, doesn't matter, we understand it pretty well. Sit back in our easy chair, become very quiet, very calm, very pure, very true. And with a heart bigger than all the oceans, we have the courage to sustain us through this battle of good and evil, which is why we are here now. No lesser thought. So you look at the SOB in the eye, and it's quite evil and quite fearsome. My having done depossessions and so forth for 60 years consciously, I know how horrible it is. And there's always someone in our environment that's a witch. It could be someone's grandmom, or this or that, or an entertainer, or an athlete, or someone in the family. And it's very difficult to deal with until there was you, who knows, in the quiet hour just before dawn, this thing cannot approach you. This thing, this indecency cannot approach the awakened heart, the quiet mind, the pure intent of the holy. You must accept that you are the holy. And that's why the dark forces work so energetically to keep you from that thought, to believe in yourself, to care for yourself. Not to love yourself, we would know what that is. Our love is outgoing to all the loves of our life, the likes, the children. My teacher used to call her cat the boss. In other words, you love someone so purely, and you give them all authority. Whereas this thing called the devil wants authority, wants to hurt, wants to pretend. And we don't pretend, we care, we drift, we love, we like, we endure. We'll always find a secret door to deal with any of the narcissists, the sociopaths, or the possessed in our life. I've dealt with someone for 5 years, but God put me near this person to simply be there, to be available when they would want to be healed of this circumstance. And in the end, they didn't go there. So I don't fight it, I walk away and that's it. Goodbye. And I know that'll bring great tumult to the person, but that's not my point. Is that the whole world, if we give it nothing, in our prayer and our meditative times, in our psyche, if we learn to relax, let go and let God, as they say. Learning to do that, we react to nothing. We're visited around the clock, so we're not going to sit in a corner alone and figure this out. Conditioning brought us this far where we understand what the world is, we know what the circumstance is. And now something miraculous will begin happening to you. So wonderful. I could say well-deserved, but that's not the point. You came here as a divine warrior to see what was wrong, so you accepted all the madness, the conditioning upon you. And now quietly understanding that, you'll be born from on high. You'll feel waves and waves and an openness that no words can ever describe. Infinite ecstasy that would not touch. I'm speaking honestly as someone who experiences these things. It's so much more than we've ever dreamt or envisioned. You'll feel God Himself being born through you. In this place will be no more. You've overcome the world. Thank you, Mr. Skolta.